Okay.
Right, yeah, my name's Kev, and today I'm going to be talking very quickly about the Stihl BG56C blower. The reason I had trouble with it is the air bubble on top. A mouse had chewed it, and then I put it back together and it wouldn't prime. I didn't get a lot of help when I rang around. They quoted me various prices for new carburetors, about £20, £25. So I'm going to show you very quickly what I did to repair it, and we'll go from there. Right, okay, so to get that, first of all, the best thing to do is get this out of the way. So you just twist the collar and it just pulls off. You should be able to do that quite easily. And then the first thing we're going to remove is this handle here. There's three little crossy things, I don't know what they're called, like hexagonal Allen key. So we just whip that off there first of all. Okay, I'll probably wind this on a bit quicker when I do the editing. So we get that handle out of the way, stick that over there, put your three screws over there, and the next thing is to take the pull cord off. Same tool again, this one here. You just have to, oops, it's a little bit tight, so just loosen that, and loosen that. Now this one's already been fixed, so, but I've got to, I just wanted to show people how to do it, so you don't have the same problems as I did. So we take those three bolts out there, a little bit further, and this one here. Okay, and this just pulls off. Just watch the spark plug there, and that just pulls off, and put that aside. Right, then you have this is the carburetor in here, and this is your priming bubble. Now this one works because I fixed it, but it wouldn't prime even when I replaced the bulb. The mouse had chewed this. I don't know whether they like drinking petrol or something, I don't know, but he chewed it through, and I've replaced it and it wouldn't prime. And it turns out there's a little valve in there which gets stuck. Now when I asked the garden machinery place, they didn't really help me except for replacing this part, but it was about £27, which I didn't want to pay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Right, okay, this air filter here is going to come off. Turn to the anti-clockwise, pull it off. Take out the air, the filter there. Okay, put that aside, and then you've got two 10mm nuts here, which we're going to take off now. Beg your pardon, 10mm. I think they are the blue one. Yeah, the blue one. I'm guessing that's probably 8mm. I don't know, but we'll go for that one. So I think that's 8mm socket. Take that off there. And take that off there. Okay, and this will just slide off there. Okay, and now you get into the carburetor. Right, now this carburetor, he'll slide off, but you want to make sure that behind here there's a little gasket. You don't want to be ripping that when you take it off. So we just slide off. There's a little gasket here, and usually it'll just stick on to either the carburetor or to the main body. But just in case, we can slide this off here. Oh, beg your pardon, before you do that, there's this linkage control to the accelerator, so you just slide this off here first, pull this out there, and then the other end here, it's got a little hook which you can just unhook there, and out it comes there. So take that out of the way, and best to put it on the bench in the direction you took it off, just so you can put it on the right way when it goes back on. So place it on the bench. Now this will come out, slide this along. Okay, and then you'll see the gasket which I warned you about has just popped off. So we'll just stick that back on there and very carefully push that back on to the Right, now the easiest thing to do with this is, rather than take these fuel pipes off here, down here you've got an inlet and outlet, rather than take them off, I found it much easier is just to lever the whole assembly out. So if you look under here, you get your screwdriver under here and lever the whole thing out. Try not to chip anything because they'll probably cost you a fortune to replace. Right, so okay, as you see, that one's just popped out there, and you've got your fuel pipe which brings the petrol in. Oh, okay, let's pull him out. He should just come out. And on the end you've got the filter, stops any dirt or clag getting up into your carburetor. So this is the inlet pipe here, this one, and this is the outlet. And when you pump your primer, what happens when the engine's running? The engine will suck in the fuel through the carburetor and obviously run correctly. But what happens when you're priming, you suck in the fuel through this one. By doing this, you press the fuel into the carburetor. Now if your valve, which was the problem with mine, is blocked, you'll just press the fuel back out into the tank. In fact, sorry, beg your pardon. No, that valve was blocked and it was actually sucking air back in. But anyway, so one's an inlet there and that's the outlet. So when you press, you prime it up, and that will push fuel into the carburetor and suck it up at the same time into there. Right, you can see if you take your pipes off this little insert which goes into the tank, you take them off there. Oop. Like that, so push that out of the way, and you should be able to feel when you press this, one will suck and one will blow out. This one's obviously the one that's blowing out, and you don't want any air sucking back in through this pipe, and that's why there's a little valve in there which stops that happening, which we'll come to in a minute. This is the inlet. Don't think you'd get too much trouble with that one, but there is obviously a one-way valve on that as well, and there's a needle valve inside which you'll find plenty of videos about when you go on to that. Right, I'm going to show you the pin. Whoops. There we go. Right, to get to the bubble, it's a simple task. You just unscrew these 4 screws. Normally when you come to your, if the bubble's not working, you might find something chewed in, and this will have a hole in it or something of that nature, and that's what's stopping it priming. So normally you better just change the bubble and there won't be a problem. So what you do there is you just pull it off there, and that's your bubble. And you can buy 3 of these for like a £5, so you can just change them there. Now the problem I had was this piece here, this plastic base. Now if you go on, always be a bit careful with these gaskets, because they you don't want to rip these, but sometimes you can get a problem, as I said, with the needle valve, which is under here. But you'll find lots of videos, as I say, how to take that out and clean that up. Sometimes you can get bits of grass or something stuck in there, and that will stop it from operating as well. But this is what's usually the problem with the primer. So anyway, that's that bit. So this piece here is where I had the trouble. Now nobody really helped me out, I have to say, and it was £27 for this piece from Stihl. But by messing around myself, I discovered that what you can do is this little needle valve here. You're very careful. If you find something, maybe like a very small drill bit, but this thing was ideal. This is, put it in the hole there, and you can just, it's got a chamfered edge, so you don't want to be wearing it on too much, and you don't want to put the pin through that piece of rubber. And so that just comes out, put that on there, and then in there you've got a little bit of rubber. Now this is what usually happens. What the petrol dries out in the bubble, and this little rubber thing gets stuck when it doesn't go up and down. I'll just take it out. I don't want to put a hole in it, so there it is. Did you see it pop out? So there, it's got a little rubber. When I stick that on the table there, you can just about see it. And that's just basically a little rubber washer which is on the spring. And I'll get the spring out. There's the spring, and he sits on top of that, and when you press the button, the fuel bubble, it will push the petrol out through this hole and out through the outlet. But if it's jammed down, when you come to the suction bit, it will suck in air through the outlet, so you will not get the fuel into your bubble, which is what we're trying to do. So that's what you have to do. You have just basically have to free that little rubber grommet there, and then once you get it moving again, you put it all back together, same as it came off, and that should be your problem solved. And that's the end of the video. I don't know much about doing these, but my first one, so if it's any help to anybody, then that's a good thing. Thank you for watching.